Now let's look at the second and third noble truths of love. As you may recall, the first noble truth is that relationships never stabilize, they are uncomfortable. The second noble truth says that trying to make them stable and comfortable is actually at the cause of the instability and discomfort. We all know that there's nothing more vulnerable than falling in love and being in love and trying to make a relationship work. And because it is so frightening, we want to try to lock something down, put into place controls that will protect our hearts. This is not possible. In the spiritual world, it is said that one of the main obstacles to attaining liberation from suffering or just being happy is something called spiritual materialism. Spiritual materialism says that if I could only get my spiritual practice right, if I could be a really great meditator, a really great practitioner, an excellent teacher, if I could really understand the truth of the truth of the truth, then I would be safe from suffering. I would not have to experience the sorrows of being human. Well, this is not true. In our ordinary life, we try to find all sorts of places to hide from the truth of suffering. We think we can hide behind this credential, that amount of money in the bank, this group of friends, and ultimately, this relationship. If only I could find the right relationship, the one, the person who would understand me, the person who I could finally be myself with, the person I could share everything with. All of those things are great, by the way. Then I would be safe from suffering. And that's where the problem comes in. Because while I hope you find all of those things immediately, they will not protect you from the ups and downs of being human. Often we look for the one we love to protect us, to strike a bargain with us that will allow us to turn our back on what is so difficult about being human. And the truth is, relationships will never do that. I call that romantic materialism. That is when we try to enlist the companionship of another person in the effort to make our world into a fairyland. Now, I don't know what that's called, but I'm pretty sure it's not called love. It's the second noble truth. Thinking our relationship should be stable and comfortable and never have problems and so on is actually what causes the difficulty. Imagine for a moment that you were able to liberate yourself from that wish. But before you imagine that, I want to issue a very important caveat. And the kinds of discomfort that I'm talking about are just the things that one might encounter in an ordinary relationship, which can include irritating tiny problems and huge, gigantic, earth-shattering problems. However, there are things that are not included in this view, things that should not be tolerated as, a Buddhist lady told me I should tolerate discomfort in my relationships. And those things include abuse and addiction. Those are problems that are outside of our control, outside of the person's control, and a different kind of help is needed. So I just want to be very clear that I'm not talking about tolerating those things as a sign of being a good partner. Imagine for a moment you could give up the idea that the primary purpose of this relationship is to make me comfortable, and instead it is meant to give me the opportunity to discover what love is, how much I have to give, what blocks me from sharing and receiving it, to go beyond whatever my comfort levels are in the offering of my heart to another. Imagine that for a moment. It would be quite liberating. The third noble truth of love is that meeting this discomfort and instability together, in fact, is love. Now, a good partner is one who will, when a problem is encountered, turn to look at you and say, what's going on here? This is how you contributed to it. This is how I contributed to it. Let's figure this out. That's fabulous. That's a really good partner. However, a great partner is one who, when problems are encountered, will turn to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, to look together at what arc of the ride you happen to be on right now, and to see it together. Right now we love each other. Now we don't. Now I love you. You don't seem to like me very much. Now it's the opposite. A great partner is one who will hold you, hold your gaze, hold your hand, remain seated by your side as this amazing, crazy ride arcs and spins and goes off track and gets back on track together, so that at the end of your life together, you can look back and say, some things were amazing, some things were incredibly difficult. I had no idea how much love I was capable of. In fact, I didn't even really know you when we first got together, but now I do. And now you know me. We did it together. And the joy and the beauty of this kind of true love, the love that extends beyond romance and into the realm of truly being seen and seeing another. And in being seen, you become who you really are. It is when we're seen with love that our true nature, the goodness and brilliance we didn't even know we had, is born. This is the gift of love. Not making me feel safe, although that's great too. Not helping me heal all my old wounds, although that obviously is also great. But in helping me give birth to myself and the joy, the honor, the privilege of seeing you become who you are meant to be. This is the kind of love we can dream of, and it's very real. This is true love.